This is the Impressions Exchange Podcast. Where all topics impacting the graphic imaging and printing industry are addressed via in-depth news coverage, analysis, and timely interviews.
Hi, I'm Denise Gustavson, the Editorial Director for NAPCO Media and the guest host of the special Printing Impressions podcast series in celebration of Women's History Month, highlighting the women in the printing industry. Now, during this series, I'll have the opportunity to talk with women from all segments of the printing industry about their experiences and their journey as a woman. So today, it's my pleasure to welcome LeeAnn Reed, Vice President and General Manager of Duggal Visual Solutions. So LeeAnn, welcome.
Hi, Denise. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So can you tell me a little bit about your current company and your role there?
Yes, my current company I work for is Duggal Visual Solutions. We're a bi-coastal large production facility with our headquarters out of Brooklyn, New York. I've been with Duggal just a little under 11 years now, and my role has been the West Coast Operations General Manager, Vice President. I work directly for Mike Duggal and help bring in national sales talent and have helped with production roles.
Okay, awesome. So now, how long have you been in the industry? And then, what got you started in this industry?
Yeah, well, it's going on 36 years now. I went to college and actually graduated in communications and advertising. And there is no sector of studying about printing. So it was all about advertising agency work.
Mm-hmm.
But as I had some unpaid summer internships for experience, it was the vendor side, the vendor roles that were coming into the agency. And they had a lot of flexibility and freedom, and they were leaving the facility and going in and meeting with people and talking about their products. And so I started asking questions. So out of college, my first job was at Ackerley Outdoor selling billboard space.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's interesting. So, now you went to college, you have this degree, but is printing really what you wanted to get into? Did you go into it thinking that I'm going to go into printing, or did you think you're going to go more into like advertising and design and something along those lines?
Oh yeah, I wanted to have this fast-paced, really sexy industry, and so definitely thought about agency work. You're not exposed to the printing industry unless you know someone, unless you have a history with it. It's certainly not something you're going to learn about in college. So that could be an opportunity, for your organization to actually reach out and expose students, future people in our industry, to, know what they have access to and what some opportunities might be.
Yeah. And that's always something I always kid people with, most kids as they're growing up, they're like, oh, I want to be a policeman or a firefighter. They have all these, different careers because they're experienced, they see them, but nobody ever says, I want to grow up to be a printer. It's you don't see that. So
no, you don't. From the outdoor advertising, I actually got a call out of the blue from a headhunter. I still to this day don't know how he got my information, but to work for a printing company, kind of a satellite office. And this was back in Seattle. Okay. And so that's what actually got me involved.
So what was that next step in your career? What were you doing at that printing company?
I was a salesperson.
Okay.
So I learned about the products, I learned about the equipment. And once I got a little bit of knowledge, I certainly learned as I went. I really just took the same skill set that I had really through sports in my life, just be disciplined, understand the rule of numbers, and went out and started meeting with clients and sharing what our company could provide.
So eventually that led you to where you are today, and you've, you said 11 years with Duggal so far?
Yes, 11 years. And this has been more on the management side, but I did spend at least half of my career as an account executive, and in sales, but quite frankly, we all sell, that is, it's what we do. We have to sell what our skill set is at any time, especially as a woman,
Mhm.
to know what we can offer and that we are intelligent and we can provide a benefit.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, through your career so far, what's helped you really the most along the way? Has there been a person or is there something that's really helped you get to where you are today?
I wouldn't necessarily say a person.
Okay.
That's because I didn't know anyone in the industry.
Mhm.
And when I was in Seattle, that wasn't home for me. So really, it was just brand new business opportunity. It was exciting. It looked like something I would be interested in.
Mhm.
And I think and I mentioned this, my background in sports, just I applied myself in the same sort of way, to work hard and be willing.
Mhm. Now, I guess my question is, as a woman, would you have wanted to have some kind of mentor for you, helping you when you were younger, and just starting out? Would that have been something that would have been beneficial for you?
Absolutely. I mean, I believe in mentors in our whole life. I mean, we're always learning and growing.
Mhm.
It never stops. It never should stop. I do think that women need to empower each other and support each other. A really healthy, strong, independent, confident woman uh, should be the people we seek out because they will always try to help and support. Uh, you know, when we do that, not only is it empowering, but everything comes full circle. There's room for all of us.
Mhm. And the women that are already strong, they want more people like them. They want other strong women beside them working with them, and they're eager to help and to mentor in that case.
Oh, for sure, we're multifaceted. We know how to handle a lot of things at one time.
Mhm.
Um, I've found that women in general, we're good listeners. We have empathy, uh, willing to say, I did that wrong. How can I do that better?
Mhm.
Um, really keep our egos in check. Don't lead by ego. Um, and all of those traits, I mean, it can certainly go beyond the printing industry, but we're speaking about the printing industry. And there's a lot of amazing women in our industry. But I think our clients and our coworkers would be served by having even more.
Mhm. Because of those characteristics that, and the traits that women bring to the workforce. We can truly see that.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, you're in a leadership position within Duggal. How important is it to have women in roles like yours within the industry?
Well, I think it's very important. We need to have balance,
Mhm.
and our clients are women uh, uh, and men. But we need both sexes to be able to, I guess, have a balance, to be well-rounded, all of our different experiences, what we bring to the table. It's what helps have a holistic approach to how we grow. Um, and I think in general, what I've seen is that ability to be in a meeting, to have a task at hand, to be able to kind of disseminate all of the information. And then the key is to be comfortable, to have a voice, to
Mhm.
speak our voice when it is our turn.
How difficult sometimes is to make sure that you have that voice in a room like that, when you could be surrounded, you could be the only woman in the room.
Well, it is fascinating. Oftentimes it is more men.
Mhm.
I've had many, years past before the company I'm at now. I've been brought in with 3 board members, the CEO, CFO, COO, and the intent was to intimidate
Mhm.
and uncomfortable. I mean, I'll never forget that. I mean, uncomfortable. So going in, just knowing who I am, knowing my value, and always not leaving without saying what I know I deserve to say or what I can bring to the table. That's what I've done.
Yeah, and it's great. And it shows that, I think a lot of it comes from also, like you said, your sports training and that the drive and the confidence that you've gained, through the years to be able to allow you to be in that position to say, not to say your piece, but to say what you need to say in that situation and make sure that you're heard.
Yeah, certainly. And I've also witnessed through the years, women come through, have an opportunity, and kind of step back and rely on some old characteristics or stereotypes, giggling a little bit, stepping back, swishing the hair, just all of that. And it is a stereotype, but it still happens.
Yeah.
And I understand it. I don't actually judge it. I do understand it, but there is another way. And I see a lot of strong women in industry. I work with a lot of strong women. So it is changing, it is growing. And, I will be very supportive of any sort of mentoring opportunities, that happen for our younger generations coming into the workforce, into our industry in particular.
And awesome. And actually, that's a great segue to where I wanted to go next, is talking about the industry or even, an individual print company. How can we appeal to more women? Over the last few years, we've gotten many more women coming into the industry, but by far, women are still a minority. So, how can we encourage more people, more women to take that step into the printing industry?
I hadn't thought about this before this interview, but since I was thinking about my college education, and I think if there's opportunities of going in to the classroom and just talking and presenting about what it's like, what the opportunities are. I know in other industries, architects, engineers, there's people that will come in elementary school. We've got people coming in and, this is what a fireman does, and this is what a nurse does. Yep. And, maybe educate people. What are the different jobs? What are the opportunities? What kind of schooling would you need? And seek out some mentors. 20 years ago, a woman called me. I didn't even have a job opportunity. And what she said is, I want to work for you. I want to learn from you. And it took 6 months, but she called me every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Until I hired her. And I had such respect because she made a decision and she did really a smart thing. She picked someone that she wanted to learn from. So I think that just exposing women to the opportunity and who do you want to learn from? Who's healthy for you to be around?
Yeah. Very, very interesting. And yeah, going into the schools, especially at a young age, to even think, show them the process of, well, this is a poster, this is a book. Do you have any idea how these are made? Yes. And to give students that, whether male or female, just to give them that insight into there are career opportunities. There's so much more involved when you start looking deeper into the opportunities available in the industry.
Certainly. And there's the creative side in our industry. There's the production side in our industry. There's sales, there's management. So it can really meet women at whatever personality and natural skill set that they have.
Agreed. So now if you have a young woman, there's considering a career in the printing industry, what advice would you give them for those women who are just starting out?
Well, I did touch upon this a little
Yeah.
bit. Once you get that job offer, and stepping into that role, whatever the title is, whatever the responsibility is, not to limit, not to just look at that, but constantly be cross training, doing that on your own, not waiting for the opportunity, creating the opportunity, asking questions all the time of different people, what they're doing. Do you like it? We can shift, we can mold, we can ebb, we can flow. Anything can change, but find those women mentors that are handling themselves in a way and presenting themselves in a way that she would be drawn to and want to learn from, and hold on to that and, ask for advice.
Yeah, I agree. Being willing to, and also being motivated to learn. I think that's the biggest thing for anyone starting out in a career, is being open to new opportunities, new learning experiences. I mean, that applies to, any gender, any person that's, coming in, but especially for women, I think too. It's very, very good advice.
Yeah, thank you.
So LeeAnn, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate your insights, and I enjoyed our conversation today.
I did too, Denise. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Thank you for joining us today for this episode of our special podcast series in celebration of Women's History Month. Be sure to check out the rest of the interviews and stories we'll be highlighting throughout the month of March.